So
you get to have your ups and downs, and it seems like well, first of all, you just said it's okay to not be okay. Kim, I have to say it. This is
You don't
the
always
thing.
say that.
This is a thing for me. You may not agree with it, but I have not yet said this on the podcast, and I've been waiting for the right moment to say it. The way I see that is that it's more. I want to change the words. I think it's more. It's okay to not feel okay.
ooh, yeah.
Because we are always okay, even when we have a negative feeling.
I love that, actually. I love the way that you just, I do. I love that.
Yeah, that's important.
Okay.
What'd you say?
I like that.
No, it helps me a lot too, because I get some issues going on, and I tend to get all caught up in it and drama and chaos, and then it's like, oh, I am okay, I just don't feel okay.
Yeah, because even though I'm in so much pain right now, or I'm going through a divorce, or someone just passed away, like I'm in a lot of pain, but I am feeling privileged that I get to feel my feelings, and I'm still okay going through this, and I will end up better because I'm processing my emotions in a healthy way. But I'm never not okay. I think even in death, we're still okay. That's a whole other way to look at things, but it's just a very high conscious way of looking at life and our feelings and our pain, and it just makes it so that it's okay to be messy too.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to be
Kristen.
Okay, Kristen. No.
Ariana loves my messy.
I do.
And I think that's beautiful that the two of you have that connection, knowing how you started, the two of you. But yeah, beautiful. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to Scheana. So I was wondering if you could talk about the pressures of Hollywood, body image, like the tabloid stuff. I know you recently went through the stuff with the editing on the show, but we don't have to talk about that. But just in general, how do you live with that? Social media and having to always be on. Do you get to be normal?
Unfortunately, I'm a perfectionist, so I always feel the need to be on and be as close to perfect as I can. And I feel like over the last year, I've kind of let that go, and I'm just like, I don't need to look perfect. I don't need to act perfect, because the world is not perfect. And for so many years, I've just tried to, have the perfect relationship and the perfect job or whatever. And hold on, I'm gonna go in here.
Distraction.
Sorry, my housekeeper's here. So I think once I realized that, like, this is not realistic, I felt like I've kind of gotten my confidence back in the way that I know it is okay to not be perfect. Where do I start? I think it kind of goes back to like my wedding, when I had my crop top wedding dress, and all of these comments come out of people saying, like, oh, her fat rolls are hanging out and this and that. And I was just like, oh my God, yeah, I'm not perfect. Like, I need to get in shape. And I got in shape not for the right reasons. I should have done it for my health and my well-being, but instead I did it because I wanted to look perfect. And now I'm still in shape. Somehow I think I'm one of the only people who's lost weight in quarantine.
Oh my God.
Not so much, but
you.
So jealous. I live with a drill sergeant who I love very much, but that's definitely helped. But I feel so confident in who I am now that I think I want to preach that more to people, because when you are in this world we live in, there's nothing normal about our lives. Like being on a reality show, having all of these moments captured, shown to the world, judged, then having to relive it. And looking back, I'm just like, I need to embrace it and not get frustrated over it, because I don't look even close to perfect this season, especially. But you know what? It's like, that's okay. And the things that are imperfect about us are the things that people relate to the most.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's great about our job, is being able to put things out there that other people can relate to. It's like, okay, if you can do this on a public scale, I can do it on a private scale. And so I try and just think of it that way now, and just know that we're helping people, and we're helping them by not being perfect, and showing that, you know what, yeah, I'm not happy every day. I struggle with anxiety or depression or weight gain or weight loss or shyness or confidence. Like, there's so many different things that so many people struggle with in just their private lives, and we do it in public. So the more I think about just how much we're helping other people, the less pressure I feel on myself to be that, like, perfect whatever.
They would be, Kim, wouldn't they be great spokespeople for the campaign? For the Perfectly Perfect campaign?
Perfectly Perfect campaign. You sound like it already.
I know. I love that. That is great, because I think from what I know about you, you've changed over time, and you just seem more authentic, more you. Like, you're finding yourself.
Yeah.
And you're more comfortable in who you are.
I feel like I kind of lost that for a while. I lost my spark, I lost my mojo, my competitiveness. I just kind of gave up on myself and just was like, okay, well, this is my job, and I'm going to show up, and then I'm going to go home. And it was just like, I just wasn't happy. And once I moved to Vegas, I felt like I kind of got my spark back. But then coming back to this environment, which can be quite toxic at times, I got lost in a not relationship with my best friend, and then it was just like, I hadn't really been happy with myself. I was projecting how happy I was, but it wasn't truthful. And over the past year, I feel like I've really kind of gotten back to my roots, and like things that just about the dumbest things that I'm like, why are we fighting over this? And I just feel like, especially in quarantine, we've definitely had a lot more time to ourselves and to, just like reflect. And I feel like I'm in the best place I've been in a really long time. I have this like sense of like calm and zen, which is like weird because I'm someone who really struggles with anxiety. And I was just saying this, my friend Brett Kenyon is here with me for the week. Brock's in San Diego, so he came to keep me company. And I was just saying this morning, I was like, not having anxiety is almost giving me anxiety, because it's like, I'm like, why am I happy? Why does everything seem okay right now? There's like, that's it. So I'm just trying to embrace it and just enjoy the calm, and, just take life day by day, because worrying about the future is what gives me anxiety. And we can't worry about the future. We can just worry about today and do our best today. And then, hopefully everything falls into place as it should. The universe gives us what we need.
Absolutely. I'm going to just say one thing, and then, okay, just want to say, when you said worry, I keep correcting you guys, I'm sorry. When you say I'm going to worry about today, we have to be careful, like, how we talk to ourselves. You don't have to worry about the day. It's just a little, we think about today today. Stay in the moment right now, or be present in the moment. But it doesn't have to be a worry. But it's like your normal. Probably you don't even realize that you're saying that.
Right. Yeah, because I mean, worry about the future. That's definitely one thing I do. But I've been trying to just live in the now. Because like when Brock and I started dating, I would just worry constantly. Like, he's gonna die, something's gonna happen. Like, and I would like worry because I'm like, I've never been this happy. And everyone's heard me say this. Like, you say this about everyone. You say, I'm like, I would hope that each relationship you get in is the happiest you've ever been. Because why would you go back? I would hope you're in the best place you've ever been, and in a year you're in an even better place. Like, that's the way I'm trying to see it. And
you have a book that is it out yet?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's called He's Making You Crazy: How to Get the Guy, Get Even, and Get Over It. Did I say it right?
Yeah.
Okay. What led you to writing the book?
It was something I've been working on lightly for a couple of years, and when I went to my friend Michelle, who's my co-author, and told her the original concept of the book, and just started telling her some of my stories. It was like every single dating story that I had to tell her, she had gone through. And if it wasn't her, it was like her best, she went through it with her friend or her, you know, whoever went through it. And it was like all these universal truths. And it just felt nice to sort of live my real life and be honest about my stories, rather than this. It can be difficult on Vanderpump Rules to like be so one-dimensional all the time, and we all the cast members, we all have to deal with that. We're like, Scheana's the boy crazy one, and no, now Ariana's being the little cloud or the whatever, and Kristen's crazy, and like that's who we are. There's nothing else to us. So it was nice to be able to tell my stories, but also just connecting with women again. And the more that I wrote, like through the journey of the writing process, the more I realized it was no longer really about these guys as it was like my own self-love journey of like why, like the psychology of why I was doing what I was doing, why I was putting up with what I was putting up with, why I was acting out, why I didn't leave someone for bad choices that they made, but I stayed with it and made it almost worse. So all of these things, in order to write these stories, honestly, we had to dig into the psychology of it. And really what it was is like, the first thing was like snowballed into the next thing, into the next relationship. And I was carrying all of these, harboring all these feelings and carrying them into each relationship, and never really dealing with what I was feeling. So yeah, so it was very therapeutic. And
was it hard?
It was really difficult. Yeah. I mean, a lot of it was, it was so much fun. It wasn't like it was a very painless writing process. Michelle and I had a blast with it, and I'm very fortunate to have her like help me with the storytelling and the structure of the book, which isn't something that was really my forte. But there were a lot of chapters that were really hard because I didn't want to go there. Like I didn't want to, rip the Band-Aid off and like relive all those. It was like being in therapy again and being like, okay, why did I do it? Why did I say it? Why did I stick with it? But I've definitely
is there a chapter where you overcame something really heavy? And
yeah, there were a few. Yeah, there were a few. It's a very like tongue-in-cheek, fairly light-hearted book, but there are definitely a few heavier hitting chapters that we just felt necessary to include if we were going to be totally honest.
Right.
And it must be hard to be that vulnerable, but it could be so freeing at the same time.
Yeah, it's both, actually. I mean, Ariana, and I know our books are obviously but by the way, it was so cool when you were like, author, Ariana Madix. But they couldn't be, the books couldn't be any more different, but she hit the nail on the head of like you pouring your heart and soul into something, and then now sitting out there almost waiting, hopefully not, but waiting for judgment on like, do you like it? Was it good enough? Especially when you're, being this vulnerable about things. Like, are people just going to trash it before they give it a chance? Have they pigeonholed me into someone that doesn't deserve to speak about topics that I wrote about? So it's only been 2 days, but yeah.
Well, I'm sure you're going to help people. So congrats on that.
Thank you.
And the book is so good. And my podcast coming out tomorrow, Kristen, you get a very big shout out because Tuesday wasn't the first non-social media day we've ever had, the day your book comes out. And so on my podcast, I just gave you some extra love tomorrow.
Thank you.
Oh,
You're the best.
that's cool.
Good luck with this group.
Sorry. No, not because I don't want to, but I know it's.
No, I know. It's just the end of the season, and we've all said too much, so.
Yeah. Kristen, I wanted to say one thing about the book. I read an article yesterday that it might have been an interview with you, and I think it was with People. Now I can't remember exactly where I found it, but I loved that you were really focused on owning your part in a relationship and where it went wrong, instead of just constantly complaining or blaming the other person for the problems. So I think that seems like you've really grown a lot just because you're coming from that new place.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I say like relationships are a 2-person job, crazy is a 2-person job. So facetiously I say he's making you crazy, right? Like this is not a man bashing book or a partner bashing book, but it's just saying like women are typically called crazy. I mean, we've all had that dude we've dated or whatever, or a friend who was like, oh my God, my ex-girlfriend was so crazy. Or the second you have strong opinion or disagree with someone or have an emotion, and that significant other is like, it's because you're crazy. Like, do we call men crazy? Is that a statement to men? Never. It's just like, like we, again, on the show, we call it like empathy. Like, oh, it's just this person. He's a guy, like, no big deal. But she's crazy. So it was a very facetious still. I mean, I'm bringing the C word back. We're like trying to take the dreaded crazy word and wear it as a badge of honor and say, you know what? Fine, I'm crazy because I care, because I stand up for myself, because I self-respect. And no, I'm not actually like condoning the like, batshit behavior, but just like, this is where I got to because of this guy, and also because of, again, my choices that I made, whether to stay in it, be Detective Doute, make my own mistakes. But it's about like learning from all of that stuff so you don't continue to bring this into the next relationship or friendship.
I never quite got the like wedding hype. I mean, I want everyone should do what makes them happy. And of course, if someone has like their dream is to have that, like, then by all means they should absolutely do it. But I never quite understood that, even as a kid. And even as a kid, I mean, I didn't play with like baby dolls. I played with grown-up career Barbies.
I'm a best-selling author Barbie.
Yeah, exactly.
Ariana was so crazy. I'm like, I actually want the wedding. I just don't want the certificate from the government.
Well, you know what's funny is that we actually, like, when we were like house shopping over a year ago. Oh my gosh, wow, time flies. When we were house shopping, we were of course like going through all of our financials and how you guys know how much they like dig deep into all of that, and we were looking at like the tax stuff and everything, and we were like, wow, we wouldn't even get a tax break. So
Yeah.
just like another thing to add, like it wouldn't help us in any way. So it was like, yeah, and then all that money you spend on it. So yeah, and then with kids, I just it's not, again, like not. I don't want to. I'm not there. I'm just not there. No. So yeah. I love spoiling my friends' kids and all the kids in my family. That's my.
Yeah. How do you feel you guys are making a difference? Like Scheana, we saw that you've been posting some really powerful stuff. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been out at any of the protests yet. Like I said, there is one in Springs this weekend. I was out of town in Arizona when they all kind of started, and then I've been back in Palm Springs. And until I did get my COVID testing, which came back negative today, yay.
Congratulations.
I wanted to stay in my bubble because my great aunt Shirley, where if you saw on Vanderpump Rules, she was the one who was the Rockford Peach baseball player.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. From me.
From a league of her own, right?
Yeah. She just had a hip replacement surgery. So I've been trying to just stay in my bubble. So this weekend when my mom goes back home, I'm able to go and help take care of her. But I just didn't want to be around anyone. So I'm like, while I'm not living in LA, I'm not going to the protest until I do know that my health is 100% and I'm able to help take care of her. I've been trying to speak out on my socials as much as possible. I hope I don't get in trouble for my podcast that comes out tomorrow, because I really went on a rant about these dumb Instagram hoes who are going out there for the wrong reasons. And some of them are now ex-friends of mine. I'll tell you girls later. But I've just seen people out there in their perfectly face-tuned photo with their crop top holding a sign and acting like they're useful.
Did you fall off?
Sorry.
Everyone, audience, Ariana just fell out of her chair.
I'm back.
I just saw the trees more and your face disappeared.
Talks about those posts.
I've seen this like just on certain people's social media, and it just seems so hypocritical that so many people are out there for the wrong reasons, just trying to be like, look at me, I'm doing good. And I'm like, I want to be doing that for the right reasons. But with that said, I also said on my podcast that I do hope these people who have gone out there for the wrong reasons have now been enlightened and are going back for the right reasons. because I know just having so many Black friends, having dated quite a few Black men in my past, I have cousins who are half Black. This is something that, for me, like, I see people so close to me directly affected by this on a regular basis. And I can use my voice, even if I'm not out there showing my face. I have the means to use my voice. I put a little, like, PSA campaign at the end of my YouTube video that I just posted. I've been posting links to places that you can donate. And now I'm doing this thing, it's called Huddle, where it's a group like FaceTime or a one-on-one, and we're donating proceeds to Color of Change. And I'm just trying to do as much as I can.
You're out protesting. You've been doing that, or you're going to be?
Yeah, I've been a huge supporter of Black Lives Matter since 2016. I've marched with them in 2016 and 2017. There's a group called SURGE, which stands for Standing Up for Racial Justice. And there's also a group for white allies, which I think it's important because this has, for so many years, been the brunt of it has been shouldered by Black people and people of color. And I think it's really important that as white people, we stand there and we do the work, because it's, oftentimes happening in our own communities and with our own families. And so it's a way for us so there's a group called White People for Black Lives, which also is in tandem with Black Lives Matter, to get white people to speak up more and take more action. And so, yeah, I was at the protest in Hollywood this week, and then tomorrow there's a movement. COVID has disproportionately affected communities of color, and there's a movement tomorrow. I can send it to you guys to, if you want to go, to stay safe, be in your car. This is a social distance action, as opposed to maybe like being at a protest, which, by the way, at protests, almost everybody's wearing masks. So there is that, and proud of people for doing that. But I'll send you guys that. It's for tomorrow, which is Friday. And, tomorrow, Friday, is also Breonna Taylor's birthday. So there's also a movement for that. Her case was just reopened by the FBI, which is great news. Now we just need some more action there. But yeah, I've been posting on my socials, and there's a link in my bio, and I made a story highlight, because obviously with stories, they go away after 24 hours. And then even for myself, I'll be watching someone's story and then be like, I should have screenshot that. And so if anyone's posting on their stories, I highly encourage you to add it to a story highlight, just so it's like you can always go back to it. It's great to see. I think that's really cool to see, like, literally, in Hollywood the other day, the most intersection, like the cross section of people that were there was astounding and really amazing to see. So yeah,
that's a good feeling.
Yeah. It's working.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Thank you for being here, and I want to ask each of you, like, one by one. We want to know, first of all, what is something you want, like, name one thing you want the audience to know about you that they wouldn't know, and where can they find you? And we'll just go one by one. So Kristen, start with you.
I feel like I'm pretty transparent. Okay, so shocking, I'm crazy. No. I don't know. I think I'll speak for all three of us, just that know that we're more than what you see on TV.
We're hearing that now.
We're three-dimensional human beings, and yeah. And I think that if we weren't, the three of us wouldn't be as close as we are, which can be sometimes a shock to certain people.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I think that I'm fairly transparent and own exactly who I am and wear it on my sleeve all the time. So, the good, the bad, the ugly, the awesome, the cool. That's just, it's all me, all those pieces.
Yeah.
And where can we find you in your book, too?
My book is available. I almost said pre-order. Now it's out, but it's called These Making You Crazy. You can pre-order or order it on Amazon or any independent bookstore that you prefer. And my socials, although right now I'm staying off socials as of Tuesday, I just think that I've said what I have to say in support of Black Lives Matter and in support of anti-racism. And I think right now, other than that, it's not my voice that needs to be heard. So I'm staying silent for a little while longer than just Tuesday. But once it is up and running, it's just at Kristen Doute.
Awesome. Okay.
Oh.
How about you, Ari?
Something that people don't know. Again, I feel like sometimes I'll see people be like, "Oh, really? You're from Florida?" And I'm like, "Bitch, I've been saying that since the beginning." So I feel like anything that someone wants to know about me is pretty much out there if they're paying attention. But a lot of times people don't know that. A lot of times people think that my life started at 29 when I began the show, and they don't realize that I lived many lifetimes before that. I dated other people, lots of them. I lived in New York for many years. I'm from Florida. There's a lot of that kind of history that maybe one day will make it into a memoir. But
it's so good.
I have so many stories. But like Kristen said, we are so much more. We're all, and I can say that for even the cast members that I don't get along with or maybe don't vibe with, I still have to say that every one of them is always more than what you see on the show, and everyone is a three-dimensional person. And that goes for other shows too. And sometimes, you might not even see something about somebody on their social media because, it's kind of just in general, unless you're really willing to tell your story beginning to end on social media, a lot of times it's like, oh, I'll just post this pretty picture. And then because, we're supposed to be involved on obviously not in this moment. I'm not talking about right now, but I mean, just in general, other times we're supposed to kind of be engaging or whatever. And sometimes it's just maybe not one of those things that comes naturally. I like a face-to-face talk. I feel like that's more my jam. But yeah, everybody is so much more than you will ever see on any show or on their Instagram or anything. And you can find me on Instagram at Ariana252525. If you just type in Ariana spelled the same way as Ariana Grande, mine comes up right there. And then I don't use Twitter anymore. So, I mean, every once in a while I'll log on to the website. But Instagram and then TikTok, Ariana Madix. Again, I'm not very active on socials right now. For many reasons. My therapist told me not to, so.
So smart. Need a break.
And I know
My
just
therapist told me don't do that.
Side note, I know that Twitter has gotten you guys in some trouble, so.
Yeah.
Me? No.
No, well,
Me? Not I.
Okay, cool. Thank you. What about you, Scheana?
I am at Scheana, Scheana, on everything: Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, YouTube.com/Scheana. And I mean, I'm not as one-dimensional and desperate as I appear. So check out my YouTube, listen to my podcast, and you will get a much broader outlook on who I am overall.
Yeah.
You all have such strong voices where, not that I'm surprised, but you really have depth, and you just really sound like you all have a very strong sense of knowing. And I think that all the years of the ups and downs that we have had the privilege to watch, and I'm sure you have other things that have happened in your lives outside of the show, have all just really molded you and to become who you are today, and you all should be proud of who you are.
Thank you so much. Thank you for saying that.
I think this is going to be really inspiring for our listeners. So
Oh, good. Cool.
Yeah. So
number 2, and now the 3 of us will be number 1.
yeah, I bet you. We'll let you know.
Yeah. Hope so. We know we have so many people who just are going to really love what you guys have to say, and we can't wait to share this. Hopefully we'll be able to.
I'm going to conclude the Scheana episode and then the Scheana and the Girls episode.
Yeah.
I just want to say shout out to Andy because someday we're gonna get to him, Kim.
Me too. I'm trying to get him on my podcast.
Okay, you can have him first.
All right.
Just throw him over to us.
Now a word from our sponsor.